I was under a year old when I was taken from my biological parents. I don't even know how to explain it.
They took me away because of the circumstances of life. It wasn't safe for me to be living with them, with my biological mom. Yeah.
Sam and Seleena. Who do you like more?
I knew that question was coming. I love.
In Canada, when you have a baby, a social worker will come to your room and sort of evaluate your home life, who you guys are. They'll also talk to the nurses, I believe, and then they'll proceed. If it's a good home, the baby will be well taken care of.
After I was born, my biological mom, her sister, and her aunt took me away from the hospital and ran away with me.
She ran to Listowel, a country, and hid Seleena for 9 days because she knew they were going to take her baby away.
And then they found me and took me into custody, and I got into foster care from there.
But if your name is already in the system, and Shelly's was, they'll automatically know that the baby needs to be placed into a better home.
That's all I ever wanted to be. I just wanted to be a mom. And at 16, I realized that I wasn't able to have my own children. And my husband at the time didn't care if we had a family or not, but it was something that was very important to me.
So my adopted family, there's 5 of us.
Never intended to be 5. I just fell in love with them. I fostered, I think, 30 kids. And of the 30, I adopted 5 of them.
It was the best time growing up with all of them.
Growing up, Sam and I were around a lot of Mennonites because of our adopted dad. He was raised by them. They don't believe in technology, so no TVs in the house, no radios. Where Sam and I live in Kitchener-Waterloo, right off of us is like towns on towns of Mennonite and even Amish as well, Mexican Mennonite, a lot of farm area.
We used to fish here all the time, and still do, but I just don't have the stuff to fish. And then you can't really see because of the cornfield. But right back
Over
there
there is the house.
We can walk up to the lane. The people who lived here were our dad's adopted parents,
Yeah.
Who are Mennonite,
Yeah.
and they helped raise Seleena and I when we were kids, while my mom put herself back into school.
Graduated, did really well. That led going on to do my Bachelor of Social Work, and then I did my Master's and graduated with honors. Something that I never thought I would ever accomplish.
My grandparents didn't use it as a farm. They just used it to live. Like for a while there, they did have animals and stuff, but then, you know, kids got older and people moved out, so they didn't have it.
There's a little barn beside the house, and there's a lot of stray kittens that live there. So every time we would come, we go upstairs into the little barn and we try to catch the baby kittens because there'd be so many of them.
My grandmother always fed them, and my grandfather always was like, don't feed them because more are gonna come back. And next thing you know, there's probably about over 100 cats probably living on that property.
People would make me feel guilty. Like, you are supposed to be raising your kids. How can you go to school? You're not spending enough time with your kids. And I just kept doing it because I knew I was doing it for the right reasons. And I don't think women should have to make a choice between education and being a parent.
Growing up, we didn't watch TV. We were always outside doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah, either
If we weren't
cooking,
baking
we
or
were baking and
cooking,
cooking and
sewing.
working, yeah.
If we weren't doing that, we were out in the garden. Like the reason why I know how to garden and grow vegetables and keep a plant alive is because of my grandparents and my aunt. Like we just spent time after time after time in
Always outside.
outside
Or
or
with them
inside doing
cleaning,
something
cooking.
that's going to benefit the home,
Yeah.
right? It wasn't like, okay, time to go on our iPad, or okay,
No,
it's
no.
TV time.
No radios, no TV, no music, nothing.
Nothing.
You don't have any of
No
that.
distractions.
No
You just
distractions,
lived
no.
off the land and appreciated everything that, you know, Mother Nature gave you. Like, I think a big reason why I appreciate every little thing that's given to me is because of them.
I normalized it right from the get-go, right from babies. They just grew up knowing that they were foster kids, what that meant. It was important that they always knew that they had family elsewhere.
I knew I was half Asian because of our family book. I knew that Shelley was white and Hung was Asian. But growing up, like my friends, my classmates always told me, like, we don't look like our parents, and you know, we always told them, yeah, we're adopted.
I didn't get to fit in with white kids because I was too Asian for them. And then the Asian kids, I was too white for them. So it was really hard making friends because I was too much of one or too much of the other. And then with the Asian kids, I couldn't really fit in with them because I didn't grow up with my culture, my history. I didn't know anything.
I didn't want them to grow up thinking that they were abandoned or they weren't loved. So I made sure that they knew that there were certain circumstances why they were taken away, and it had absolutely nothing to do with their other family not loving them or wanting them. That was important for them to grow up knowing that. So it was just a conversation that we've had right from the very beginning. It was just normalized.
The biggest thing I remember in school where the boys would say, you were not wanted by your parents, so they gave you up and they no longer want you. Like, you know, we were somebody's garbage that this random family picked up off the side of the road and took in. It was awful. But I never thought of it like that. I loved being adopted. I love every single sibling of mine, plus more. It was normal to me, and just because it wasn't normal to somebody else didn't change my opinion on it.
I felt lost growing up. Every time I would go to, like, my mom would take us to Vietnamese restaurants, and so she tried to incorporate, you know, a lot of Vietnamese things into our life, but it still wasn't enough. Felt like I didn't know who I was. I didn't know my identity. So that was hard growing up, I think. It was very emotional for me.
I had the honor of raising these kids, and there's another aspect of them, and they have a right to know that. That's part of their identity, and it was important that I supported them with that.
So this is the house where we lived when my parents separated.
I took a leap of faith. I left with 5 kids. I just knew that I would make it somehow. I would survive, and I did.
My mom took all the kids, and we moved into this basement for a bit until she found the home that she still lives in today.
We always had sisters by blood, best friends by choice, and we each got to choose when we were friends or not. Like, we hated each other.
We hated each other. Oh my goodness. It's so funny. Like, during the day, we would fight, and I mean, like, fist fight, punch each other, bleeding, like nosebleeds and everything, bite each other. But at bedtime, when we fell asleep, we were always holding hands.
We really did. We fought, like physical fought. It was so bad. Like, one time she almost broke my nose.
We loved each other because we were together and adopted together, but we hated each other because it was always a competition of who was better, who did better in this, oh, who had more friends, who was more popular.
It was so bad that the only way we could take our anger out on each other was popping each other's pimples. Oh, sorry, the head just came out. Ow! I wasn't ready.
Did you just get that on camera?
Yep. We would have a full-on bickerment, and then 2 minutes later we'd be popping each other's pimples because that was the only way we could get our anger out at each other, was causing each other pain on how hard we pushed down. Yeah.
Ask 12-year-old Seleena. 12-year-old Seleena would say, oh, we're not going to be close growing up. I hate her. I don't want her in my life. Ask me now. She's my everything. Like, she dies, I die. She's my ride or die. I appreciate her to moon and back, you know.
This is the playground that we grew up at. Like, my mom brought us kids here, like, every day after school we came here to play.
My hand's stuck. I'm stuck.
She's stuck.
I got it. Oh, you got it. How do I get down? I just got bird shit on my hand. I got bird poop on my hand.
I love them both equally, but for very different reasons. If you ask Samantha, she will say that Seleena was my favorite, and that's not the reality. Seleena was my baby, and I think when you know it's your last child and you're not having any more, there's something special in that. But Samantha was a very incredible little girl. She just didn't matter where we went. She was such a social little one. She would meet people everywhere. She was just the most caring, kind, compassionate.
Have fun with that.
I don't know how.
Bye.
No. Sam, help.
This is how you grow up. You do it on your own.
Break my ankle.
I believe in you. I believe in you. I hope you eat dirt.
And I just loved and adored that in her, where Seleena was very stubborn and loud and sort of pushed her way into things. But I love them both.
Deanne adopted us because there was something like just about us. I could cry about it. I think something just clicked that she knew she was our mom. And if she were to give us back to foster family, she knew like that she was the mom. That's her kids. No matter how long we were fostered by her, like we called her mom right away, almost immediately. Like she was never Deanne. She was always mom, and it's always been like that. Like forever, she's been mom. And I remember I never wanted to go back to the foster family. Like when I had my little visits, I just wanted to cling around her. Like I never wanted to leave. That was home, and I didn't want to leave.
And like now, like I'll hear Samantha. She's had so many struggles along the way, and to look at her now, I hear me coming out of her mouth. And that is such an honor, because she went through turbulent times where, you know, she didn't like me. And she's turning into me, that's awesome.
It was, you're my kid and I'm going to fight for you. And that to me is just the purest form of love. She's the purest form of love. I think she just has a big heart and is an amazing human. And I one day hope to be like her. Yeah.
If I wasn't with Deanne, where would I be? Because my mom has given me like such a great life.
You don't always have to call family by blood. Family is by choice. And you choose who your family is, blood or not. If I was given a one wish to go back in life to be in Shelly and Hung's life or Deanne and Steve's, I'm always going to pick Deanne and Steve's. Because that is my family. And now I have more family to love and appreciate and get to know.
You know, everyone's gone through something. We all are outcasts at the end of the day. No one, you know, has a normal life, quotation mark, you know, like there is no such thing as a normal life.
I love being around family. It warms my heart. Just when we're all together, especially now, they're all adults. The dynamic is different. It's priceless.
Look at that. You look hot.
Oh, that was our last trip in Costa Rica.
That's not you, Mom.
It is.
No, it's not. You're
blind.
That's a different ass couple.
I have no idea then.
Since the last reunion with my biological family, I have done a lot of stuff to change my life. First, I worked in construction. I got to work on a machine called a shuttle buggy, and it was huge. And I got to conduct the trucks and dump the asphalt in. And I decided to do a lash apprenticeship at a salon here in Kitchener-Waterloo after I do a set of lashes. The smile that they have is priceless. But yeah, that's all I'm doing right now. And I got a puppy. Her name is Mia. Oh, and I have a boyfriend of 2 years. very loving man.
Well, I do music on the side still. Unfortunately, I put that to a pause just because of life gets in the way, other things, more important. That's something I really want to keep on doing and release it to the public. I'm very shy, so I keep that to myself a lot. But that's one of my passions. I love music. Knowing me and who I am, I change my mind constantly. It's like 1 minute I want to do this and then I get bored of it. I get bored really easily. So I think one of my goals for sure is to travel after COVID. I would love to go to Vietnam and meet my family back home. I'm a listener. I like to listen to people. Whatever you have in your mind, I'm there for you. I can be that shoulder to cry on. I think that's the legacy I want to bring. If people know me, I want them to know that I can lighten up a room. I'm like the person that if I come into the room and you have issues, come running to me. I'm your listener. I can help you and give you advice. I feel with everything that I've been through, I can give good advice and I can be more understanding because of the stuff I've been through. That's what I would like to leave behind is that.
When you look at me, you don't see the past and the struggles. And I want everybody to know that just because you have a past and just because you have struggles on a daily basis doesn't mean you can't have a good quality life. You just have to push through it. I did, and look where it got me. It's just fighting back the storm. And I think that's what I want people to know, that I fought back the storm, and I'm still fighting back the storm. Yeah, that's it.
They came a month apart, so Seleena came first, and she was just this little bundle in her car seat. She's just the cutest little thing. She had these big, chubby cheeks, and I just remember thinking she was the most beautiful little thing. And a month later, Samantha came for a visit, and she was just like this little, just breathtaking. I just instantly fell in love with them.
Chuck them at them, yeah. They're picking it up and then just throwing it away.
Oh, I hit it! Like, hit the body.
Get it away from him. No, go this way. That way, away from him.
All gone. No more. No more. All done.
Spiky, it's like...
It's okay.
It's okay.
Okay. Here, she's coming.